Hello and welcome to the Ogden City Council meeting of March 15th, 2016. Please note that all council members are present. With that, I'm going to turn the time over to Vice Chair Blair to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chair White. Tonight, we have Troop 58 with us, and Abraham will be giving or leading our Pledge of Allegiance. So Abraham, if you'll come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Repeat pledge allegiance after me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Abraham, if you just would come up here real quick and tell us why your troop is here, right up to the microphone.
Up to the microphone.
Just why is your troop here tonight?
Because we're trying to learn about
Are you looking at a merit badge at this point?
Yeah.
What's that
We're trying
badge?
to-
Community something?
the community citizenship in the nation.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you for that. Next on our agenda is recognition. And I am going to ask Thena Wellman from the Layton City Recorder's Office, correct? Is that right? That's correct. To come up.
I am the city recorder for Layton City, and with me this evening is Leanne Warnock. She is the city recorder for Ephraim City, and I appreciate you allowing us time to do this recognition. We know that without your support, these types of educational opportunities would not happen for recorders and deputy recorders. We are here this evening representing the Utah Municipal Clerks Association and the International Institute of Municipal Clerks in recognizing Abby's MP for achieving the Certified Municipal Clerks designation. This is a designation that is offered through the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. It's a big thing. It's a big deal. It took her a few years to achieve this. She had to achieve many education points equal to 240 in-class hours and some experience points as well. And I don't know how many years it's taken her, but it's been a few, I'm sure. There are 247 cities in the state of Utah, and the association, Utah Municipal Clerks Association, has 261 members. And of those 261, approximately 85 have achieved this Certified Municipal Clerks designation, so it is a big deal. There's continuing education opportunities. I know that your recorder, Tracy, and her other deputies have achieved the Master Municipal Clerk designation, which is another process. But education helps recorders do their jobs better and represent you better and do what you need them to do. And we know it's expensive for cities to send their recorders to training, and we appreciate you supporting Abby and the clerks in this state by providing that education for her. And we would like Abby to come up, and we have a plant for her from the association and present her certificate to her, and I think we're going to get a picture real quick.
Abby, congratulations. Thank you.
That's big. Let's scoosh.
I got all the fans here.
Bring him up.
Oh, heck yeah.
Bring him on up.
Now we know where you get it.
Let me go a little bit more to the left.
Yeah.
Go more to the left.
You want to get one before all of us?
I'm glad you're not shy, Sue.
No, that's every scoosh. Go. Scoosh, scoosh, scoosh. Okay. Scoosh. And Ben, your spot's over here. We got the other tall guy over there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And Abby, there's more coming, I think.
This could be our Christmas card.
Yep, hold on. Our gentleman's coming up.
He's the man of the hour next month. Yeah.
This is a new role for Jay.
Oh, my gosh.
Abby, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, don't leave.
I'm just used to being in that little quiet desk over there, so. Thank you. No, of course, I just want to say thank you to the council and administration for giving us employees the opportunity to obtain certifications like this. Theda was right, it took me 3.5 years, and I'm pretty sure we celebrated in the office that day that I got the letter. So it's an amazing organization to be a part of, and I'm grateful. I'm excited to start on my MMC now and catch up to these guys. Thank you.
Well, we thank you because we don't always know process and procedure, and you keep us on track, so I appreciate that. The next item is going to be pulled from the agenda. Mr. Owens could not be here tonight, so we will recognize him at another time. And as well as number 5, the request to be on the agenda is also going to be pulled from the agenda this evening and will be addressed at a later date as well. So the next thing on our agenda item is the approval of minutes. The study session on January 19th, 2016. Councilmember Lopez.
I'm sorry, I was reading.
The approval of minutes. So study session on January 19th, 2016.
Yes, Chair. I reviewed the minutes and I found them to be correct.
The regular meeting on January 5th, 2016. Councilmember Stevens.
Yes, Chair, they're correct.
And the special meeting on January 4th, 2016. Councilmember Garner.
Yes, Chair White, I've reviewed those minutes and found them to be correct and make a motion that we adopt the minutes as proposed.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Garner, second by Vice Chair Blair. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. We have 2 items next on our agenda for common consent. They're to set the public hearing for April 5th.
And Chair White, with that, I'll make a motion that we adopt both items of common consent.
Second?
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner and second by Councilmember Nadolski. This too is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That item passes. Thank you. Next on our agenda is public hearings, and we are going to have Mr. Symes from the council office present the capital improvement plan.
All right, well, thank you. Tonight, on your agenda is the consideration of the FY 2017 to FY 2021 capital improvement plan. And what I'd like to do is just briefly go over a little bit of the background and some of the history of what you all have reviewed with the CIP. So we'll start just with the definition. So this is the definition of the CIP from our own ordinance, and it says that the plan is for the scheduling, financing, and construction of capital improvements to be undertaken by the city in the upcoming fiscal year and projected to be undertaken in the following 4 fiscal years. So what that means is that it's a constant 5-year rolling plan. So every year we add another year to the plan. Just by way of definitions and a little bit more background, a capital project itself, by our ordinance, is defined as any project that exceeds $30,000 and adds to the city's, quote, physical plant. And this can include the design and construction, as well as major rehabilitation and reconstruction of projects. A capital project can also be the acquisition of the long-term lease of land, and can also be feasibility studies and other investigations that will relate to or will lead to other CIP projects. So the funding categories, 7 funding categories that make up the CIP funding. They're obviously listed there, but general fund, and that does include the BDO lease revenue, state and federal grants, the BNC road funds, which is the gas taxes and other state allocations, citizen participation, the city's enterprise funds, bonding, and then other projects such as the ramp grants and other fundraising activities. So when we go through the CIP plan and the process, there are a couple of things we hope to achieve. The first, obviously, is to help us identify the city's capital improvement needs. We also establish our long-term goals, and it helps us create a plan to invest in these capital expenses. You all have seen also that this has a recommendation from the Planning Commission, and the reason it goes through the Planning Commission is to ensure that these projects are consistent with the city's general plan. And then this obviously informs the budget and helps set priorities for these investments. And then, like the budget itself, this plan is definitely a reflection of the values and goals of the city. And it's proposed by the administration and reviewed and approved by the council, so it is a reflection of both the administration and the council. Got ahead of myself there. So you did review this at 4 different work sessions throughout the first part of this year. The first one was just after the first of the year, and that was an administrative review. This was sort of an initial kickoff work session. The second work session that you had, this was a review that we as council staff did. We analyzed the budget and pulled out some things that we thought you should look at and pay attention to, and answered other questions. On February 2nd, this is where we invited directors and other administrative staff to come and address specific projects and to answer specific questions. And then on February 9th, we did have just one last work session, and we asked you at that work session to rank your projects for the upcoming fiscal year. And then a few weeks ago, on February 23rd, you set a public hearing for tonight, and March 15th is where we're at. So with that ranking that we asked you to do last month, we came up with your top 5. The complete list is included in your packet if you want to take a look at that, of all 19 projects that were considered to have some funding in FY17, excuse me. So these top 5, I just pulled those out just to show. The number 1 project was the Liberty Park improvements. And this, of course, goes along with the new D School, or the new Bridge Academy that's being built, and Liberty Park is part of that. 3 of the other 5 relate to community and economic development projects, all of which are in the East Central neighborhood. And the other one in that 5 is the sidewalk curb and gutter replacement project, and that's an ongoing project that's in the CIP every year. So we did have one change that's being proposed to the CIP, and that is the project number EN095, that is the Citywide Transportation Master Plan. We talked about this during some of the work sessions, and again, just a few minutes ago in tonight's work session. When the CIP plan was compiled, the funding for this project was uncertain, and so it was listed in FY18. Since that time, some funding has been identified, and administration and you all as council feel confident that we can move that up a year to FY17 and get that done in this upcoming fiscal year. So that's a change that is being made to the CIP, and that is included in your packet. So if you do approve it as proposed, that will be included. So lastly, just the next steps. So we'll have the public hearing tonight, and if you all decide to approve that tonight, once that is approved, then this will be sent back to administration, and that will be incorporated into the budget, and you all will be seeing the budget here in about 5 or 6 weeks. So you'll see how these projects are allocated in this upcoming fiscal year. So, any questions? Thank you. Yes,
If
sir.
I could ask a question about the timeline, having been a former planning commissioner, that's a pretty exhaustive document for a planning commissioner to review. And we were trying to suggest to planning staff and planning director to make sure that the planning commission had that for, a 4-week period. Do you know if that happened this year or not?
I don't. I think.
Ms. Montgomery is nodding.
There you go.
So that is good. Thank you. Appreciate you accommodating that. That's an important thing.
Thank you.
Sir.
Also appreciate you accommodating the transportation master plan, and thank the administration for doing the same as well.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think a lot of people have been waiting for that for a long time. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion to open the public hearing by Councilmember Heyer, second by Councilmember Garner. This is an opportunity for the public. Do you have, just open? Sorry. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's an opportunity for the public to speak about the capital improvement projects that we have coming up.
Seeing no movement, Madam Chair, I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion to close the public hearing by Councilmember Heyer and second by Councilmember Garner. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
If there's no further discussion, I will go ahead and make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2016-11.
I second it.
A motion to adopt by Vice Chair Blair and second by Councilmember Stevens. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Garner,
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer,
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez,
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski,
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens,
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair,
Aye.
Chair White.
Aye, that passes. Excellent, thank you. Next on our agenda is a report from the Planning Commission. Mr. Montgomery.
Madam Chair, members of the council, this recommendation of the Planning Commission is coming to you by an action the staff took to try to solve a potential problem we could see in the future. And the request tonight is to consider amending the provisions we have in our parking ordinance regarding stacking behind different types of teller windows or voice ordering machines, the like. We've had several inquiries as people have talked about potential desires for development of questions regarding an 8-stall stacking area behind an order machine. And as we took a look at that, and when the ordinance was first developed back in the 1990s, things have changed a lot in terms of how fast food services work. And in terms of trying to be more efficient, they are trying to look at more ordering booths that then get into the one window. And as we looked at efficient land use, we felt requiring 8 stalls behind each ordering machine took up a lot of land, created a lot of potential problems of circulation conflicts, and that the intent of the ordinance could be achieved by still keeping it to 8 stacking, by making it clear that can be broken up to however many machines you have. That way you have a more efficient use of the land. So as the Planning Commission reviewed this, they felt that was an appropriate change to the ordinance and are recommending approval of that tonight to you.
Thanks. This is an opportunity to receive public input. Is there anyone that would like to speak about this?
Seems there's no movement.
I'll make a motion that we adopt proposed ordinance 2016-17.
Second.
The motion to adopt by Councilmember Garner, second by Councilmember Heyer. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Heyer. Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Councilmember Garner. Vice Chair Blair.
Aye.
Chair White.
Aye. That passes. Next on our agenda item is public comments. This is an opportunity to address the City Council regarding concerns or ideas on any topics. Is there anyone? Please state your name clearly.
I'm at 309 South, 1200 West, Marriott Slaterville. I'm your neighbor from across the street of DDO. I've been here a few times. I was here in 2012, and when the rezoning was done for the area north of the Nature Center, at that time the city was, or at least you were told, that there'd be no impact to that development area there. I was back again. I contacted the mayor's office in November of 2014 concerning the overnight building that was going on for the Mayfair warehouse. Again, I found that, checked with planning, they said they did not have a variance to go ahead and do that type of work. Instead of calling me back, the mayor went ahead and gave them a variance rather than calling me back. I stopped in and visited with you in December. I told you how I felt about it. Again, I was told I would get an answer out of administration. Never happened. I came back last December. There's a lot of new faces here. But again, the overnight building was going on again. Like I say, I see that with your annual report from the Boyer Corp for BDO, that new buildings are coming up again. And I asked both times that I came here that there be a policy made concerning that overnight construction. Your improvements are degrading the area that I have. The fence doesn't recognize noise. Again, the lights, I used to have Starlight out there, no more. It's like having a Walmart big box store parking lot right in your front yard. We have noises from the buildings there, alarms going off, the doors that they have alarms on them as well. I'd like to see something happen. I'm really concerned as far as the Nature Center. We're seeing more and more animals coming across the street because they can't come the other way. There's a canal blocking that. But we're seeing more and more animals coming across the street because, again, the light pollution from that area, the construction noise going on day and night. This isn't your first rodeo on this, because I talked to Bill Morris at Marriott Slaterville, and he said that you'd gone this route with him on the Hershey building, on the warehouse there, that they had complained to the city, and the city just told them, hey, we'll do what we want when we want. He took it all the way to the state of Utah, and you guys knocked him down on it. I'd like to see something done, because I think it's wrong what's going on. You guys were sold the deal that this would not affect the area, and it does. And I brought you a special little thing here. This is a copy of Fern Gully. It's about an evil entity that's trying to destroy a beautiful and unique woodland area. I think you guys can watch that next time planning comes across. I also brought a calendar for the mayor so that he can figure out when administration is going to talk to me, because evidently it's not happening. And Marriott Slaterville says you're not talking to them. Okay, well, I've also brought you a shirt, because I knew you needed a slogan. And it says, in Ogden, the lie has not become just a moral category, but a pillar of city government. So here's a shirt for you as well, so you can wear it. But again, you guys need to get a policy together, because it's not good. It's not neighborly.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it coming. There you go, I apologize.
Sorry if I'm out of order.
Please state your name.
If I'm out of order, correct me.
No, you're fine.
My name is Brian Nestrick. I live at 676 East 21st Street. And I just wanted to put a bug in your ear regarding Weber County Library and the bond issue that had already passed and we're already implementing. There's been a lot of major concerns as that has begun to be implemented. And I'm sure you're aware North Ogden and Harrisville and Pleasant View had a special meeting, over 300 people. My concern is with our Ogden portion of it. The building that we have on Jefferson Avenue, we outgrew about 20 years ago, and I don't understand why we're sinking this money into a building that when we're done, it will be updated and it'll be beautiful, but it still doesn't serve the needs, the library needs of the community. And my recommendation for that is I would like to see that building used for the Eccles Art Foundation as an art museum or as a gallery. It fits perfectly with the neighborhood, and it would keep us from tearing up the park. We that live here in the city, we don't want the park tore up for parking, and it doesn't make sense to add parking to a building that's not growing. We're not adding floors to the building. And my proposal would be, we have a building that's literally falling apart at 24th and Wall, and that is an absolute perfect location for a new main library. It would be served by 12-plus bus routes. It would be within walking distance of the Front Runner station. It could be a nice 8 or 10-story reflective glass building that when you look at the building, you would see Union Station. We have so many showcase events that take place in that neighborhood, and these 3 warehouses are just a blight to our beautiful new downtown. And so I don't know what you're doing about that. I'm sure, I know there's been things in the paper, and I know there's a fence that closed the sidewalks, but I would just encourage the city to condemn those 3 buildings, get rid of them. And if there's any way you can work with the Weber County Library Association, and even if we need to come back to the public for another vote, I would like to see that. And I know you're not the Weber County Library Association, but I know you work with them, and this is concerning our main library. To have only a 2-story library in a city of almost 100,000 people in a metro of 700,000, it's laughable. So I'm just concerned about it, and I love Lester Park, and I don't want to see it tore up the way it's intended to be done. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anyone else, since I missed? All right, with that, comments from the mayor.
Sure. A couple of quick things. Our intent certainly is to be good neighbors, and that's why we've had Blake Wallen and a number of others from BDO that are in charge of the construction process reach out and try to find ways to mitigate any potential impacts. I will say that we were recognized by Forbes magazine just last week as, again, one of the top 20 growing cities in the United States. And for Ogden, that's a great thing for our future and our economic prosperity and the people that live in and around Ogden. And we'll continue to reach out and try to find ways to lessen the impact. And I would certainly apologize for your frustration with that. But I do feel like we have reached out and tried to address those concerns as they've come up. So we'll continue to do that. I appreciate you coming and sharing your comments. And having been gone for a little bit, I was gone when that announcement came out. I'd just like to report that there is truly no place like home. So it's nice to be back.
Council members.
Welcome home, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
I don't know, but I want to say that Friday night I'll be sitting and watching a Weber State basketball game.
Exactly.
Way to go, Wildcats. Others? No other comments? With that, we will be moving into a closed executive session, and we will be adjourning from there after that closed executive session.
So Chair White, I'll make a motion that we adjourn into a closed executive session.
We have a motion by Councilmember Garner and second by Councilmember Heyer to move into the closed executive session. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Nadolski?
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens?
Aye.
Councilmember Garner? Aye. Councilmember Heyer?
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair?
Aye.
Chair White?
Aye. That passes. Again, we'll be adjourning from the other room. And just a note, we were finished with our work session, so we will not be continuing it afterwards.